Welcome to Local Web Expert, the show where we shine a light on digital agencies making a real impact for local businesses. Today, I'm thrilled to be talking with Jai Blackley, founder of Iron Digital Solutions, who's based right in Portland, serving regional Victoria and South Australia. We'll explore how his agency has built lead-focused websites, helped tradies, NDIS, and service providers get found on Google, and continues to support them long after launch. So let's jump straight in. Jai, thank you very much for joining me today.
No worries, Luke. Thanks for having me.
I'm really keen to hear about your backstory into this. What actually drew you into building Iron Digital Solutions in Portland? And did you find there was like a personal moment where you realized that regional businesses really needed that better digital support?
Yeah, well, quick backstory, I suppose. I come from a transport machine operator background, and so I spent like a good 12 months like upskilling, and yeah, really found that regional. I just felt like Portland as a regional area even just needed a bit of like waking up a bit. Like no one was doing, not many are doing online marketing. Some don't even have a website still, which is like crazy to think in 2025. So yeah, I really felt there was a need for someone to come in and help and yeah, really shine a light on their business and get them online, like competing with others that are obviously online in 2025.
Yeah, we definitely find the same thing within the regional areas that a lot of people or a lot of businesses will rely on that word of mouth. And what they don't realize is that even if somebody says, hey, go and check out this particular business, they will go straight to Google on their phone or on their computer and they will vet them to find out if they're a business they can trust. So having a website as a profile is really important for that trust signal to say, yes, we are actually a business who puts a professional foot forward and you can do business with. So your focus is more in the regional Victoria and South Australia. What do you find unique about places like Portland, Warrnambool, Hamilton, or Mount Gambier that's really shaping that approach to local SEO?
Yeah, well, I sort of, for one, I love just dealing with regional people. Obviously, being regional myself my whole life. I feel like I can really speak the language. Like we're not too city out here. Like we've got that sort of knockabout, no fluff sort of speak. But also, I think to help local regional businesses, there's always a family behind those small businesses. So in turn, if you help the business grow and get more leads, which gets more revenue for the company, you're sort of helping the family, with their revenue on that. So I find that really rewarding. And most of the clients, you've got them on mobile, so you can sort of just they'll call you and say, "Oh, just this person just found." Like I had a phone call from my brother this morning actually, and he just said like I handle his website and SEO, and he's like, "Oh, I've just had this call from a girl who reached out looking for an NDIS provider, and he said like, "Oh, how did you find us?" He goes, "Oh, just found you on a Google search." Like, so like when you hear stuff like that, it sort of makes you smile and like you're helping out people.
Yeah, getting those real results. And like you said, talking the language that the people who you're trying to target certainly helps when you've got the same sort of ethos or background as those. Part of the specialties that you guys do with Iron Digital is helping tradies and NDIS practitioners. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I feel like coming from the blue collar background, again, I feel like I could really speak to tradies, other blue collar industries like construction, earth moving, transport. There's the sort of like, that no fluff, no BS. They just want to be told direct, what's it involved, what do they got to do? Um, and often they're sort of busy working on their own business, like a plumber is good at plumbing and working with pipes and that where they don't really want to deal with that tech stuff. So I feel like I'm a good intermediate where I can explain things in a simple way that then more technical people can understand, like the hands-on people can understand, but really still bring a personal level of service.
So many of those business owners, like you said, they often will build a site just to check the box, just to basically have one. So, from your view, what's the most common mistake that you find that they make when they first start, or an assumption that they have about it that they might not quite understand?
Yeah, I sort of find that they just sort of go out and build a self-build website on, you know. one of those self-build ones, Squarespace, Wix, something like that. Um, and that's great to get them started, I suppose, if you're, scrambling to start a business and they just need to get something online. But I try and encourage people that if you are going to do it yourself, try and like do it on WordPress from the start because we sort of just find that the other self-built sites don't rank. So, but even if you do have a self-built website that you are finding isn't working hard enough for you or bringing in leads, then it could be a good option to talk to someone and getting it rebuilt on WordPress and being able to SEO it properly.
Yeah, I think there's a real difference between the building of a standalone website that looks pretty and can be read by humans, but oftentimes sits as a lonely point on the internet versus somebody like yourself who knows that the value in writing these things that can be easily read by robots and that has a much larger digital footprint that connects it to all, it's called the web after all. The more connections that you make, the more that you build that out. So we understand that you guys build fast, clean, mobile-friendly sites. So how do you explain to a business owner why that setup matters, not just visually, but functionally in terms of generating leads?
I suppose the simplest way is like you put it back on them as like, well, when you visit a website, do you like visiting a slow, clunky website that like glitches and or takes a long time to load? And everyone always says no. And then it's the same with like Google doesn't like that either because Google is trying to get their customer, who is the searcher, and it's trying to give them the best experience they can. So they're not going to recommend slow, clunky sites. So that's why it's sort of a priority for us to have a fast, mobile friendly site, which is great for user experience.
Awesome. So I'm keen to hear a success story. Have you got a particular client that stands out that you can share with us?
Definitely. I think I might be a bit biased because he's my brother, but definitely Dylan and his business is Support Connect. And he actually has a really interesting horror story with an SEO agency. So he actually got approached just by a cold call, got sold by a really good salesman of SEO package, and they handed him off to the client manager, who was supposed to be the SEO expert, and he found that he was getting like the SEO expert that they had was asking him what they should do, like this is a couple of suggestions, should we do this, like. And he's like, well, you're the expert. Like, you should be telling me what to do. Like, so he just, I think after a couple months, he just canceled that subscription. And then when I started like delving into SEO and talking about it, he gave me a shot. Like he's sort of been burnt and said, oh, I said like, I'll do it cheap, like for you. Really prove to you that there's something in this if you do it properly. And like I think within the first month, 2 months, he could see that I was different to the other agency that he used. Not only did we get results fast in terms of like the business actually going up higher in the SERPs, so his page is ranking, but we also like I report on everything I do for months, so he can actually see that there's stuff getting done, and he can go and verify it if I want because I was full transparency, like yeah. And like obviously being up in the top three, we've pretty much got him in every keyword that they're hitting, top three in the SERPs, up along with the national NDIS providers. So, and like a lot of those key search terms, he's number one. So, which is why he's getting calls from clients signing up. And one of that client I mentioned before was for 17 hours a week, which is pretty big for an NDIS client. So, he was over the moon, and he's had multiple like that, and he's actually all. It's like it's not only helps bring in leads as in clients, but he's had potential talent like staff reach out to him, relocating from a major city, and they've got a hold of him and like said, "Oh, moving down, have you got any positions available?" And he's like, "Oh, how did you find me to inquire through?" And they said, "Oh, we've just seen your website and we loved it, and you look like a really good operation." So yeah, there's other benefits to having, a good website too, which is great in his case. And he actually estimated that over $100,000 in revenue had been driven through the website in the last like just 6 months. So
Yeah, you should
that
be
that
looking
could
for
be
a pay rise.
I told him that this morning actually. And that could be like, an outlier. We don't expect that so quickly. Like we normally say, it could take from anywhere from 6 to 12 to 18 months for SEO. But the benefit of local business, sometimes, we can hit a good point and it happens a lot quicker.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm actually familiar with Support and Connect up in Renmark. I've got a couple of clients in the allied health industry, and that is a really good website. But I think you've chosen well and partnered with somebody who's got a very good growing business model. Dylan, I've met Dylan. He's actually he cares about the people that he serves and his clients. And I think that makes a huge difference. And that certainly comes across in the website that you've helped set up for him. So.
Definitely,
But
yeah.
it is amazing, like you said, with the SEO horror stories and we don't want to rubbish the big agencies, but oftentimes that really is the difference that when you're with a big agency, it feels safer because they're bigger, they've been doing it for longer, they've got more clients, they should know what they're doing. But oftentimes we find that means that they've focused on marketing of themselves and they know how to put a really good salesperson on with you to convince you to come along with them. But you really, as soon as you go through that gate, you really just become the next number and the next invoice that gets sent out with a little bit of work being done, but nowhere to the, I guess, the care and the that you get from a local provider like yourself. It doesn't even have to be sole operators, just small businesses that are operating locally. Actually, put the care and the time into the websites and the SEO. They want to see the results, and if you're anything like our agency with Amplify Web Design, we've taken on clients where if we don't get the result, we'll continue working until we do, at no extra expense to them because we care. We really want to see those results for them. We believe in their business, and you almost act like a business partner in that sort of case. So it's
Yeah,
yeah, it's
definitely.
it's good to hear it's happening elsewhere.
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And like, because I suppose SEO it can be so easy it's in the back end. It's easy to just say, yeah, we're doing plenty, like, but you know, at the end of the day, um, checking that reporting and making sure things are getting done.
So in that sense, the SEO to business owners and even websites to a certain extent can seem a little bit murky and a little bit black magic. So how would you explain local SEO or what you're effectively doing to someone who is in that local business space, say like a local plumber or a clinic provider?
Yeah, I suppose going from the foundations, it's content, links, link building with citations, hitting like some really good articles. So yeah, your keywords, and then I suppose the new, well, not new, but like the thing we're really concentrating on now is building the eat scores and eat signals for Google and the AI models.
You might have
Um,
to explain what eat means.
yeah, I was going to delve into it. Stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Mhm.
And that's really what Google is looking for. And they want to be confident that who they recommend knows what they're talking about and knows what they're doing in their business. So, yeah, really looking to build those signals and so that, the customers are getting recommended in Google and nowadays the AI search. Like people are just going to ChatGPT and saying, "Can you recommend me a good electrician in Portland?" So we need to make sure that the eat signals are strong and still doing the foundation of SEO, but that's like an extra layer that our agency concentrates on, probably more so than some of those other agencies might not be.
So it sounds like to summarize, I guess that is that what you're trying to do is to provide signals to Google that are trustworthy, demonstrate the expertise of the business, are fresh, consistent, and that's why, because people think it's a one and done thing, but oftentimes SEO is like a month to month. You're always producing just a little bit of content or another link here, providing all those fresh signals to Google to say this is a real life business. There's a lot of care that's going into this, and you're building the digital asset of that business itself. There's a lot in there. And I think somebody said the other day and said, "Oh, do you post content?" I said, "No, I build content systems." And I think that's really the difference that yes, you can go and put an article up, but is it the right article and is it done in a consistent way and is it consistent and aligned with your branding of what you're trying to explain to Google that, who you are, who you serve, and what you do.
That's
Um,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
we
all
want
really
to
important.
actually build it out so that we're getting found in as many places as we can, isn't it?
That's right, exactly. So on that, I suppose, is there a common reason that you see, a great looking website, say someone's built something off Wix or Squarespace, in a regional area that's just not showing up on Google? Any insight into that?
Well, it's nothing like that. I think anyone's reported on or experimented that. It's just like that they don't seem to rank as good as WordPress. And also I suppose people don't have the know how to put their call to actions in or good web hooks that really hook someone into clicking and going through that next stage. So that definitely could be one of the things. Yeah, but generally, I just don't find that those self-built ones rank. Um, and I don't really have a great answer for why, but it could be because, with the WordPress, it's highly customizable, so we can add plugins that can help with SEO as well and schema markups and that. So, um, yeah, that could be a good reason.
So all those little signals, it's the easy to do, easy not to do sort of things that, and like you said with WordPress, certainly much more customizable to be able to, go into those areas and do those rather than a built for you type website through like a Squarespace or a Wix. So I guess that leads
Exactly.
into
Yeah.
then if a business owner goes back, has seen this and goes back and has a look at their website and goes, oh, I don't know if there's something that can be done here to improve it, to make it actually work harder for me. What's the first thing they would need to do, when coming to talk to somebody like yourself? Have you got like a book in, or do you do any sort of auditing for them?
Yeah, yes, I offer a free consultation, so you can book in through my calendar. We'll go through and have a look at your site. We'll do an SEO audit. So all you really need to do is provide the URL beforehand, and we can do that. And also just on the self-built websites, I think it's important to know that people actually like when you build it on, say, Squarespace own that site. So it's not like it's fully an asset for the business. So that's one thing I'd just point out too, that yeah, if Squarespace suddenly just went broke or something, you could potentially lose all your data and that off your website.
Yeah, right. So I guess as a final question then, for the clients who you've worked with, what do you hope that they would remember most about working with you?
Ah, that's a great question. Well, yeah, apart from the hopefully leads coming in for the next few months after we've done it, I'd just like to be remembered just someone that's pleasant to deal with, and a great partner in helping them grow their business. Someone who they actually enjoy getting a phone call from and not seeing my name pop up on their phone and go, oh, geez, this guy's ringing again. Like, what's he want? Yeah, I just want to be a pleasant person to deal with.
Yeah, and that is critical that people, you're not just getting a website, you're getting a partner to support your business with when you come to somebody who's like a local provider like yourself.
Yeah,
So thank you,
exactly.
thank you so much, Jai, for sharing your insights and the work at Iron Digital that you're doing across regional Victoria and South Australia. If you are a business owner in either Portland, Hamilton, or anywhere in between, looking for a site that not just works but also looks good, head to localwebexpert.com.au and you can view all about Iron Digital's full profile, or you could go straight to irondigitalsolutions.com.au to book a free review. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.